Jennifer Lau, from Duke University, wants to ask regarding open tender system in Penang. It has been more than a year since the state government has implemented the open tender system in Penang in its effort to make Penang an NEP-free zone. My questions are below. A. Has a cost-benefit analysis been applied post-implementation of the open tender system? If so, what are the savings or changes in social welfare resulting from implementation of this system? B. Under the new open tender system, what percentage of the companies that actually wins the contract based on merit are Bumiputra companies as defined under the NEP? As of now, only 65% of Bumi thinks that they can live without NEP. Source is Merdeka Center. I believe that if this system is carefully documented and careful cost-benefit analysis is done, we can convince the nation that the Bumiputera can do away with NEP. Okay, that's the question. So we like to invite CM to
So you want to take that? You take it on there. I must always ask my deputy first because we are collective leadership. Now we talk about this open tender system. I remember when I first mooted the idea of open tender, I was criticized by the previous Prime Minister who said that an open tender system was unfair. So it boggles my mind how an open tender system can be unfair. He didn't explain how it can be unfair. But I'm sure that no economist will tell you that an open tender system is unfair. Now what we have done is this. There's probably a two-tier system. Now in Malaysia there are laws that say that for a contract up to a certain sum, it must be given to Class F contractors. And Class F contractors are those registered by the Finance Ministry, which invariably are all Bumis. But even within that Class F enclave, there is no open tender. It all depends on their political connections. And anything above that, of course, is still subject to the same rules. So what we have done in Penang is that we have to comply with the provisions that the Class F contractors will be given contracts for sums up to a certain limit. But above that, we have changed the rules of the game by opening up, having an open tender system. So number one, as far as the Class F contractors for all Bumiputras, they are extremely pleased because they can now compete amongst themselves on equal terms. In the past, it is not on equal terms. So, we used to say that in order to cut out the opportunity for corruption, what we have done is that we have instituted an e-tender system. That means everything through the internet. And that, I think, helps to reduce the temptations, because if you reduce human contact, then the possibility of money passing under the table is less. For example, if you want to get cash, no more, you don't go through the individuals, you give us your bank account, we will disburse it straight into your account. Like in the past, you have to go through somebody and you'll get a 10% cut. Now that doesn't apply anymore under this new government. Straight to your account, disburse straight to your bank account number. Number two, with the open tender system, you don't have to interface with any officials. So that to cut down the possibility of information being leaked. So in the past, what they say that because of political connections, they always say that you must have political cables to get government contracts. Now with our electronic tender system, you don't need political cables, you need computer cables. So that is the difference. And our open tender system that we have done, above that Class F limit, we have opened up to everyone, so Chinese, Indians, Malays get contracts, which they have not got before. Not because they are Chinese, Indians or Malays, but because they give the best price. Don't think that Malay contractors cannot give the best price. They can give the best price, And we have given contracts to Malays, contractors, because they are given the best price. That shows that we can compete, provided you have the right policies. And I think that because of this open tender system, we have saved loads of money. I would say that this is one of the reasons why in 2008 we can overturn that projected deficit of 35 million to a surplus of 89 million. I think this is one of the principal reasons. And we also use very creative methods to save government funds. For instance, sometimes we have awarded to the contractor we ask some more, can you go down a little bit more? Try our luck in that sense. Even though he's been awarded that tender, technically speaking, he has that right to insist on that figure. But because he wants to have a good relationship with us, they say, can you please reduce the figure? For these contractors in the past, they have to give under the table money. Now you don't need to, you just give it to the government. And it's all in your book. You can account fully for it. Otherwise, in the past, you have to bear it yourself. So, there's one instance where the contractor who got an 80 million ringgit contract, as a result of the request from the government, they reduced 5 million ringgit to 75 million ringgit. That's only one instance, and that's how we save money by such creative and of course innovative methods. Creative and innovative not for ourselves personally, but for government coffers. That's why this year, the Auditor General Report, apart from Transparency International commending us, the Auditor General Report also commended Penang for our people-centric and prudent budgeting policies, which has resulted in our assets increasing from 847 to 1,025 million ringgit. The first time Penang's assets position breached the 1 billion mark. And in the integrity conference that we organized, I think last weekend, attended by two federal ministers, Nasri and Tan Sri Noor Muhammad Yaakob, both ministers praised Penang's CAT governance and said that all other states should emulate the good example set by Penang. And this comes not from ourselves, this comes from a federal government minister. I think no compliment can be higher than that. Thank you very much.